In a world where magic meets innovation, where sky coaches race above cityscapes and adventure calls from every corner, there's a name that echoes with potential. This is Eberron. A place where the bold push the boundaries of what's possible, where lightning rails connect to distant lands, and artifice meets magic to forge the future. Whether you're soaring over the towers of Sharn, or delving deep into the secrets of the Mornland, one truth stands clear. Eberron isn't just a world, it's an experience. Here at the Prologue Productions Podcast, we dive into the stories, the struggles, and the adventures that define this land of endless possibilities. Because in Eberron, it's not just about where you've been, it's about where you're going. So buckle up, the journey starts here.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to the Prologue Productions Podcast. My name's Jacob.
My name's Jake.
All right.
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody.
How you duty?
I duty good. How you duty? How you duty?
I've been doing the duty.
I duty this morning.
Ain't a good way to duty today.
That's right, brother. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Woo.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Welcome back to the beginning of our Eberron. We're at 30 seconds. All of that took 30 seconds. Welcome back to our Eberron arc here. This is our second session of Eberron.
Yes.
The first session, we decided to spread our theory crafting wings. Theory crafting wings, and we created our own story. That's right.
Yeah. We're creating our own sort of adventure with ties to a larger narrative and larger campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Which every DM should strive for, because it's so much fun. It's so freeing.
And it makes you feel like you are fully in charge of what happens. Like you're not tied down by the restraints of an adventure book, which is good to fall back on.
Yeah.
But once you got those muscles, you flex them, baby. You go out there, you take off your literary shirt and you show them your literary muscles.
Yeah. yeah, man.
I
like
know why
that.
my voice.
It was weird, but I liked it.
So the plot as it stands, the PCs discover a bound elemental explosive device in their quarters. Still not sure exactly what those quarters are. They have 3 rounds to flee or attempt to disarm the device. Okay. The sort of antagonist here is a local crime lord of the group known as Dask. Dask?
I think Dask.
2 A's make a ah noise, I think, usually.
I think Dask, yeah.
Dask.
That's like the monstrous gang.
Violence, extortion, all the good stuff.
Which makes sense. It's a bomb.
Yeah, for sure. Their task is to assemble and use a magical weapon, which we will touch on. And the villain has a personal connection to one of the PCs. Already done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Already done. Ownka.
Our Druid of the Spores.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're doing some ties for like a larger narrative thing going on here with the gatekeepers and the morning, and Ownka's tied to the morning, it being some sort of biological threat as opposed to some sort of not man, but some sort of something created as a weapon. It's more of like a natural occurring thing.
And something that we discovered in between, talking about the Dalekir, which are basically the sort of demon, the abyssal princes of the plane known as Zoriat, which is sort of like the abyssal plane or the plane of aberrations. There are 6 main like Dalekir, and one of them, known as Avash, actually I'm forgetting exactly what his name was. Yeah, it's Avash. He's basically the Dalekir in charge of plants, created shambling mounds and myconids. The perfect late game enemy to have created the morning, to be connected to Ownka, and is basically trying to turn Sire into their own demiplane of Zoriat. Yeah. The entire nation.
Trying to establish a foothold on the surface of Eberron for Zoriat and the rest of the lords of the Dalekir.
Yeah, which is just beautiful.
I know.
So good.
Incredible.
And I think that's where it stands so far. You got anything else?
No, that's pretty.
We're rolling on a couple new tables here. We're trying to, tailor everything a little bit more towards Eberron itself. And so we're going to roll. We're just going to choose between Warforged and Kalashtar.
Yeah. They're so integral or they're so integrated into the setting of Eberron that I feel like we'd be doing this setting a disservice if we didn't make characters for both.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know Eberron, Warforged and Kalashtar are two of the Eberron specific races. We'll get into them each. There's a couple others. Technically, changelings are, from Eberron, but we already made a changeling. We know what they do.
Yeah.
They change their bodies.
The societal differences are pretty drastic from a typical like a fantasy changeling. But so we might get into that once we start figuring out like all the gang stuff. So they might be, there's a whole gang specific to changelings and stuff. So we might get into that a little bit more.
They're called the Tyrants.
Yeah. And
then there's one more specific Eberron specific race. They're called Shifters. That are pretty cool. They're like pseudo lycanthropes that they can manifest different beast.
They're essentially descendants of lycanthropes, correct?
They're sometimes called the Were Touch, the descendants of humans and lycanthropes. Yeah. So they cannot fully change shape, but they can temporarily enhance their features to reflect their animalistic nature.
Like they're a watered down, like
yeah. So you don't have to change during a full moon. You can just, give yourself beast hide or long teeth or have yourself run faster. Yeah. And they're cool. But Kalashtar and Warforged are cooler.
They're the big ones.
Yeah, they're the big ones. So, without further ado, let's start rolling on these heckin' tables.
Yeah, dude. Roll up those heckin' tables.
Let's roll for class.
Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
Let's see what we got here. T20 D6. That is a 9, which is a druid or a fighter.
No, it would be the next one. It'd be a fighter.
Fighter.
Yeah.
You want to do a fighter? We already did a fighter. How about we roll? Okay, if we've already done something, how about we roll 3 times? Creating rules as
We're creating new rules as we go. That's
just like you do. Just as you do.
Look at that. We're ad-libbing rules.
Woo! Rolling again. Another 9.
Same.
Okay.
the same.
Oh, one more time.
One more time. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's a 7. Which is
be a druid.
Which would
technically be a druid.
Shit. All right. Fighter.
Fighter. See, you know what? The dice keep us on the straight and narrow.
That's true.
They keep us on.
We have yet to create a rogue or a monk or an artificer or a blood hunter.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Do you just want to roll between those is what you're telling me?
I kinda.
All right.
Especially because after this we're shifting away.
Artificer, monk, rogue, blood hunter.
Okay. So out of
Artificer,
D4.
so 1 is Artificer, 2 is monk, 3 is rogue, 4 is blood hunter.
Gotcha. That is a 1, Artificer. Which is a Eberron specific class.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that came out with Eberron.
Perfect.
I love it.
Right.
Hey, sorry.
We change our rules. That's okay. But you know what? We're doing it so we have variety.
Mm-hmm. If you've ever DM'd, so I think this is actually more of a personality trait thing.
Yeah.
I am perfectly fine with pivoting to change rules as necessary.
Yeah.
And also Dungeons and Dragons, especially 5th edition, there is a lot of stuff that you sort of have to take and bend to your will to make it work in the way you want.
Absolutely.
Anyway, enough trying to make it seem like, anyway. There's only 4 Artificer subclasses. Artificers are powerful magic wielders who are experts at creating and forging magic items and potions. Go ahead.
Artificers are powerful magic wielders who are experts at creating and forging magical items and potions to assist their allies to bring doom to their foes. Thank you, Jacob.
You're welcome, Jacob.
I realized I had a Sam Elliott impression literally today, and I'm like, I have to use it. Especially Eberron, it's kind of,
yeah,
it's kind of Western-y.
Yeah.
They got halflings riding dinosaurs. That's Western.
That's super Western.
Right?
Kind of. I mean, when you really think about it,
they're gunslinging.
They are halfling barbarians riding dinos. They're basically analogous to...
That's cowboys in my head.
Yeah. I was going to say American Indians, the way they're portrayed in Westerns.
Yeah.
I don't know why you said it like that, but we're going to move on.
All right. So Artificer.
Artificers
We
are
got
really
four
cool.
subclasses. We have Armorer, Alchemist, Artillerist, and Battlesmith.
That's right. Artificer hasn't come out yet in the 2024 rules. I think it's the next one.
It would be the Legacy, or not the Legacy. They have the expanded rules in which we would use them.
Yes. But we're using the 2014 rules as per usual.
Yes.
Let's see. They are intelligence casters, the only other one besides wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead and roll to see what kind of artificer.
Yes. Go ahead and roll that D4. Sorry.
D4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
That's
is
a 2.
A
An
2.
alchemist. Yes.
A master of potion making to heal, assist, and destroy.
Yeah, baby.
Beautiful.
Alchemist is an expert at combining reagents to produce mystical effects. It's the oldest of artificer traditions, and its versatility has long been valued during times of war and peace. So artificers basically, their spellcasting focus is their tools,
Yeah.
which is super cool. So they have artificers are big into tool proficiencies,
Oh yeah. They can get proficiencies in
pretty much anything.
everything.
Yeah. Obviously, an alchemist tool proficiency is going to be alchemist supplies.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. They get some cool spells: Healing Word, Ray of Sickness, Flaming Spear, Melf's Acid Arrow. They're like the
This works out so good. The morning.
maybe they're
And then
studying.
they're studying the morning.
or they could help. Maybe they could help Ownka.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, why is an artificer doing crime? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Something's happening.
Something going on.
Woo! They have experimental elixir. They can produce one in an empty flask they touch. It creates an effect. There's a little table here for what effect it creates. I'm sure there's tons of homebrew for finding more effects rather than just 6.
Oh yeah. Or you can come up, hey, talk with your DM and come up with your own.
That's right, baby.
That sounds fantastic.
That's right.
And you know what? You can make it a little more overpowered. Just make it last a round or two. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Look it. You can get a fly speed of 10 feet for 10 minutes. Give someone a +1 armor class for 10 minutes. Increase your walking speed by 10 feet for an hour. It's just like or you can do like a small healing potion. Oh my God. This is so cool.
It is cool. They have Alchemical Savant, which enhances healing and damage. Whenever you cast a spell using the alchemist supplies, you gain a bonus to one roll of the spell. That's pretty cool. It equals your intelligence modifier. Restorative reagents. Whenever someone drinks one of your elixirs, they gain 10 hit points, and you can cast Lesser Restoration without expanding a spell slot, providing you use your alchemist supplies as spellcasting focus. And then Chemical Mastery, you get a free greater hit restoration and a free heal per long rest without expending a spell slot.
All right.
So they're primarily healer,
They're very much like utility.
and this makes so sense. So this
Buffing.
makes so sense.
Yeah. I agree. This makes so sense. So much.
If alchemists specialize more in healing, maybe they're trying to heal the morning.
Yeah.
But we're getting a little ahead.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah. They also get artificer infusions. So they're actually able to infuse like their weapons and armor with special abilities and stuff, and turn them into magical items, which is really great. Items that would require them to reload, they can have them not do so, and you can like have it magically shoot stuff. If you throw something, you can have it come right back to your hand. There's all kinds of this. They can be a ranged caster. They can get up in the thick of it if you want them to do that. It's a very modular class.
It is. Yes, it is. And it's great for a arcane punk fantasy setting where there's lightning rails and airships and all kinds of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next we have race, and we're just going to roll between Warforged and Kalishtar. I really want it to be Warforged.
I know.
Warforged Artificer Alchemist sounds really cool.
I know.
But we got to roll. What dice should I use?
Whatever you want.
I want to use a D20.
Okay. So 10 or lower is going to be
Kalishtar.
Kalishtar, and 11 or higher is going to be Warforged.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Warforged.
Warforged. All right. Warforged it is.
They have a little alchemy lab in their chest.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm already, yep.
Already thinking about it?
Already been thinking about it. Yep.
All right. Warforged.
The fingers are syringes.
Nice. Oh, that's dope. That's super cool. Instead of a flash, they can like.
Are they like, they go like, it's like a little thing that pops out of their fingertip, like a little,
Good stuff.
This won't hurt a bit.
Hey, can you read some stuff about the Warforged in your super special voice?
No.
Okay. While you get to that page, I'm gonna roll on the Warforged quirks table to find out what kind of quirks our buddy here has. Out of 10, that is a 9. You are deeply concerned with following proper procedures and protocols.
Okay. That's perfect for an artificer.
Perfect for an alchemist.
Yeah.
If you don't,
All right.
you're going to be in trouble.
Warforged were built to fight in the last war. The first Warforged were mindless automatons, but House Kenneth devoted vast resources to improving these steel soldiers. An unexpected breakthrough produced fully sentient soldiers. Blending organic and inorganic materials, Warforged are made from wood and metal, but they can feel pain and emotion. Built as weapons, they must now find a purpose beyond the war. The Warforged can be a steadfast ally, cold-hearted killing machine, or a visionary in search of purpose and meaning.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Sam Elliott out.
Oh, boy. All right. So
Yeah, war machines that are trying to find a place in the world.
that's right. They have some really cool racial traits here. First of all, they're between 2 and 30 years old.
Betwixt.
They have an enhanced con score. They have advantage on saving throws against poison, resistance to poison damage. They don't need to eat, drink, or breathe. They're immune to disease. They don't need to sleep. And magic can't put them to sleep. They only need to rest for 6 hours, during which they're not unconscious and they can see and hear as normal. And they have integrated protection, which means they have a +1 bonus to armor class. And they can only don armor with which they have proficiency. They have to incorporate it into their body over the course of an hour.
Oh.
They have 1 skill proficiency and 1 tool proficiency. And they have 1 language and 1 other language. They were common in 1 other language. They get a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, they do.
They get so much good stuff.
Get a free language. What language do you think they speak?
I don't know. We got to find out more.
That's interesting. You're right. You're right. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right on. My apologies. Sorry. I wasn't supposed to be here, but, Jake and Jacob over here just have a very interesting podcast, so I thought I'd sit on this. You guys, you fellas okay with that?
I'm going to roll in background.
Yes, I am, Sam. Yes, I am.
Yeah, Sam, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
What do we got? 6.
6.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. An alchemist gladiator?
A pit fighting alchemist. No, hold on. Pivot is like a field medic works for maybe one of the gangs who does like an underground fight ring, and they're there to heal them up or buff them up for battle.
Could be good.
Yeah.
Could be good. Could be fun.
Because because it says gladiator, they don't necessarily have to be a
Yeah.
within that circle. I think is fine.
Yeah. Let's see what the gladiator background says first of all here.
Yeah.
Let's give it a check. Let's check it out. Check it out.
A gladiator is as much an entertainer as any minstrel or circus performer, trained to make the arts of combat into a spectacle the crowd can enjoy. This kind of flashy combat is your entertainer routine, though you might have some skill as a tumbler or actor.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I think being within that circle is fine.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good stuff.
Jake, do you have a problem with me being
No, not at all, Sam Elliott. So their feature is backed by popular demand.
Yeah.
You can always find a place to perform, perhaps a gladiatorial arena or secret pit fighting club.
Yeah.
Or perform, / ply your trade. You receive free lodging and food of modest or comfortable standing as long as you perform.
Or he's kind of like Bane, or he injects
his body.
himself with steroids or something and gets in the ring.
That'd be cool.
Kind of like an alchemical
Something.
What's the word? Pugilist. Yeah.
Pugilist.
An alchemical pugilist.
Pugilist. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh my God. He uses his gauntlets and punches people.
Applies with stuff with his hands.
Yeah.
I'm imagining, what kind of voice does this individual have? What do you think? Time to take your medicine.
Time to take your medicine.
Silly boy.
Time to take your medicine.
Time to take medicine. I have just the thing for you.
Sink.
A syringe.
A syringe coming out of his finger.
And they're proficient. So artificers are proficient with simple weapons.
Yeah.
Your fists are simple weapons.
That's true. That's true. Oh, or
I am
maybe,
proficient with simplest weapon.
or maybe a
Fist.
simple weapon. They like pull like these iron clubs, and they infuse the iron clubs like there's a
No.
channel.
Oh, or like giant scalpels.
Oh man,
Giant scalpels that
with like a rivulet that like
yeah.
like drips acid.
The doctor is in.
The doctor is in. That's good stuff.
Time to take your medicine.
And they do have spell casting.
He is a gladiator fighter. Fuck it. He is a gladiator.
Fuck it.
He's a fighter. He's
a fighter. Fuck it. And artificers also get a homunculus servant.
yeah.
So that's really cool.
This is my servant, Boris.
Anyway. Okay,
I love it.
Why don't you just tell me that it was shitty instead of just leaving it blank like that?
Sometimes
I understand now. It
simmer.
hurts. It hurts. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
He plays the fiddle. He's a fiddler.
He's a fiddler.
Yes. Not a diddler.
He's a fiddler.
He's a fiddler.
Gotcha.
I've mixed.
And then there's all these infusions that are super cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, baby. Or maybe he even uses like a crossbow, but he slots in giant syringes into a crossbow.
And sends his homunculus out as like oh my God.
What?
So it's kind of like a hunter and a guard dog situation. His like homunculus, he like maybe goes out to distract, and he's sitting in the back shooting them with syringes.
Full of like acid and poison and stuff.
Yes.
That's actually badass.
The doctor's in.
And like fires off a crossbow.
It becomes paralyzed while the homunculus is just like pa pa bonk bonk.
Just punching him up. I don't know. Whatever you want.
Some artificers prefer mechanical looking birds, winged vials, or miniature animate cauldrons. We'll think about that one.
And a clockwork monkey.
Clockwork snake, like on a caduceus.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe he has like
And
a
his
staff.
fangs are syringes. We're going through where the
The
syringes.
syringe thing is going hard.
Yeah, that works.
All right. Well, let's keep going here.
But you only get 2 to start with. You can have more at one time. You can have multiple, but
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, you can only have a couple infusions at any given point.
Gotcha.
So you can switch them around and do whatever you want with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Age. Oh, they're between 2 and 30. So how about young is like,
Well, then it'll just be like 3.
he's middle aged.
So he's older. So he's somewhere between
early 20s. He definitely
somewhere
participated
between-
in the war.
Somewhere between 15 and like 20.
Definitely participated in the war.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Was an active participant in the war.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
We are on personality traits now.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Indeed, we are. Oh, yes.
All right, let's get it going.
roll-
D100.
Roll that D100, sir.
Yeah. That is a 15.
15. A 15, which is I keep multiple holy symbols on me and invoke whatever deity might come in useful at any given moment.
Interesting. That kind of works out with the sovereign host, which is again, religion and faith is subtly different in Eberron. Gods don't really come down and like act on the world. There's just like ideals that are attributed to different gods. And the main pantheon, I should say, is the sovereign host, which it says like they're with us at all times. They shape the world. And as a follower of the sovereign host, you believe that the hand of the sovereigns can be seen in all things. The pantheon of the sovereign host embodies all that is good in the world. Or maybe they believe in the dark 6, which is the shadows of the sovereign host.
Yeah.
The dark gods shape the world and are present at all times. They're the source of fears. And they're like, the opposite side of the coin of the sovereign host. But they're not worshipped openly outside of Droam.
I think they might play like the middle ground a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, especially them being an alchemist, they're a scientist. So maybe it's just whatever favors them at the moment, or, you know.
Yeah. Maybe they keep the symbols for all of the sovereign host and all of the dark 6. And they change.
Maybe they're like engraved in them as in like a, I don't know. Is there like a little thing that has like all of them in like a like a symbol of some sort?
I'm not sure. There could be though.
That could be cool.
That could be really cool.
Yeah. They have it where maybe their creator was, like a worshiper of just the pantheon in general, and so kind of created something. So they're like literally like the most neutral that you can be.
Yeah. Or also an interesting thing about Warforged is they have a sigil engraved into the center of their forehead. Every single one does. It's unique to each Warforged. Beyond these common elements, the differences between the Warforged are like, specific to each one.
Yeah.
There could be like a Juggernaut warrior, a skirmisher, they could be all different types. But maybe instead of I think it's called a Guldar or something like that on top of their forehead, maybe across their forehead, they just have all the symbols of all of the deities.
Or maybe it looks like an amorphous symbol that lights up with like a specific symbol depending on what's going on or what they're like, who they're worshiping or who they're praying to.
That could be cool. Like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Okay.
So we have Alchemist Pit Fighter.
Alchemist Pit Fighter. And now I'm thinking they participated in the war. And then they came back and they were so like, they were created for war. They went to the war as an artificer, and maybe they even maybe they healed the other Warforged during the war. They were like a sort of a Warforged like medic.
Yeah.
And then they became so disenfranchised that they started using their abilities to create, instead of potions and healing and stuff, acids and poisons and tinctures that harm instead of heal.
Yeah.
And then they went back and started fighting in the gladiator arenas to get out like their PTSD basically.
Yeah, they're trying to work through their problems through combat like they were trained, like they were created to do.
That could be good.
Yes. Oh my God. This is great.
This is great.
Love it.
Do we want to do... So I think since we've sort of landed on the fact they have a military background, do you want to roll on the military background thing that we haven't used yet?
I believe so.
It's a D10.
It's a D10. So they're a gladiator, but then we can get their military background here.
Yeah. That is a 1.
You were a common soldier facing the enemy on the front lines of an interminable war.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were part of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're one of the survivors, as Warforged were some of the only survivors.
Yep.
Good stuff. Oh, that even lends itself more. Maybe instead of healing other Warforged, they were healing their biological
Allies.
compatriots, their allies.
Yeah.
And they just watched everyone around them slowly suffer and die in the morning. And they had no idea why. And they came back and said, healing's not good for anybody. I'm just going to turn to killing.
No. Healing delays the inevitable.
Ooh, that's badass. All things biological must die. Only Warforged.
Yeah. Oh.
That's sick. Okay. Personality traits. Wait, we already rolled.
Ideals.
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 Have you been writing this stuff down? Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
Ideals.
Yep.
Yeah. 59.
Power. Knowledge is the path to power and domination.
Evil.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
That works out just fine.
Got it.
Bonds.
Fleshbag. Calls him Fleshbag. Death is inevitable. Warforged is forever.
Cox crossbow.
This will only hurt a little bit.
All right, bonds.
Like it.
25.
25. What is 25? I have a family, but have no idea where they are. One day I hope to see them again. Okay. Trying to reunite with his Warforged brethren.
Yeah, maybe like
from the war.
Yeah.
Maybe they got trapped, or they got, something happened to them during the morning where he couldn't save them. Or, resentment for the biologicals. Maybe they abandoned his Warforged brethren. Yeah.
We're going to see.
We're going to see how tragic it gets.
This could go either way.
Yeah.
This could go either way. There is actually one interesting bit of lore that would apply here that I think would apply very well. There's an entity known as the Lord of Blades.
Yeah.
And the Lord of Blades is basically a Warforged juggernaut that emerged from the turmoil of the last war and becomes a symbol that calls to all of the Warforged of Corvair. And basically it's sort of like a revolutionary thing of like, why are you fighting for those that created us for war? And they live within the morning because nobody else can enter the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps their family that they're trying to reunite with actually are now pledged in service to the Lord of Blades, but they refuse to go that far.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
That could be fun.
Yeah. And if we're going down the Alash.
Oh, Avash.
Avash.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole threat with Avash, they're going to have to plead for maybe the aid of the Lord of Blades and the remaining Warforged to fight against this threat. That might be like a later thing to bring about. You know, forging an alliance with the Lord of Blades. To help establish a more permanent settlement or a permanent like city for Warforged, you know?
That could be good.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. Keep that in our back pocket as we
yeah.
continue to
Floss. Show me floss.
37.
Now that I have returned to the world, I enjoy its delights a little too much. We have done that before.
We have done that before.
Do you want to reroll?
Yes,
Let's reroll. Yeah.
23.
I have trouble keeping my true feelings hidden. My sharp tongue lands me in trouble. That sounds right.
That sounds great.
That sounds about right.
Love it.
Not even mincing, just literally just. I don't like you, flesh bag.
Yeah. Or maybe, usually I go with something a little less dangerous, but this vial in particular, very potent acid. Yeah.
Quite effective against flesh bags. Such
Quite
as
effective when applied to fleshy face.
I do not have such problem. I don't know why Russian feels right.
I feel like it does. All right. So that's all of that goodness there.
Yes.
That's all the personality. Now, Jacob's favorite, the tragedy meter. Let's roll in the tragedy meter here.
Yes.
A 6.
No.
That's a 9.
Yeah.
A 6. No.
Okay, so do we have to turn it up a little bit? I know.
I mean, I feel like
crank it up.
High tragedy characters just fits this.
This person's gonna lawful evil kind of sort of.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. If we're a 9.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm thinking, they're soldiers in the war, right? Their unit was comprised of some Warforged and some, humanoid races, and the humanoid races scattered and fled, leaving the Warforged, who either got destroyed or captured or something happened to them, which is like leading his resentment towards the biological races.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. So he just has it out. That's why he fights in the gladiatorial arena.
Yeah, I'm going to expunge the biologicals from Sharn. I dislike.
Maybe they're even.
I forged deals with biologicals to suit my purposes.
We still have to roll on? Regret and debt.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we still have to roll on regret and debt.
What do I regret?
And they're still deeply concerned with following proper procedures and protocols, though.
Huh?
That's what we rolled for.
Repeat it for me again.
You're deeply concerned with following proper procedures and protocols.
Yeah.
When it comes to Warforged, maybe.
Yeah.
Like treating Warforged. Maybe they're like sort of almost like a local hero, or maybe in the cogs.
Or maybe when it comes to like, with dealing with like alchemy or dealing with like, what's the word?
Mechanics?
No, not mechanics, with like medical procedure or like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, please don't be moving. I must have been like. I don't know. They're like they're very forceful when it comes to like dealing with like certain things that they're knowledgeable about.
The scientific process. Sure. Yes. Let's roll on regret. It's a D10.
Yes.
2.
You placed your faith and fortune in the hands of a lover who betrayed you. You don't know if you can ever trust anyone again.
Their unit.
Yeah.
trusted their unit for with the lives of them and the other Warforged, and they abandoned the Warforged, leaving them within the morning. Didn't kill them, but now they don't trust human, like biological races anymore,
and they have a grudge against the military forces of Breland.
Yes,
because Sharn is in the country of Breland.
Yeah.
All right, now we have a debt.
What is that?
Debt is D10.
That is D10.
That is an 8.
You've got the piece on. You got a price on your head until you settle things with House Thrashk. You better keep an eye out for bounty hunters.
Okay.
Thrashk is who?
House Thrashk is the dragon marked house of inquisitives and bounty hunters. They have the mark of finding.
Okay. I think them killing other humanoid races that are within the gladiatorial pits, some of the bounty hunters probably want to settle their things. And maybe in like the pit fighting's not meant to be like a lethal sport. They tend to do so anyway.
Yeah. They keep applying
lethal force.
Yeah. Or maybe they're even...
You don't want them to die, don't put me in the ring with them.
Or maybe they're even like fighting against them, not killing them, but then after the fight, they go and hunt them down and then kill them as they're recovering. Yeah. Because they're that like...
Or like here...
Maybe he only fights against like veterans of the war. Oh. And he's only killing humanoids who are veterans of the war.
Yes.
And somebody finds some detective or some bounty hunter or some inquisitive finds this connection that they're using the gladiatorial pits as a
way to settle their vendetta against veterans.
To kill other vets of the war. Yeah. As a vet myself, this is a very scary.
And he does like research on them and everything. I see you
very clinical.
I see you're in the 3rd Battalion. I find that very interesting. I had a friend who was in the 3rd Battalion. He's still out in the morning.
Oh, I love it. So like a serial murderer.
Yes.
Warforged.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you know what? It comes from, people don't start evil. People become evil. That's what I like to think.
I never thought we'd roll up a serial murderer.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it a lot.
But he's still like, he still has a reason to help with the mourning or to help, if that's some sort of later threat to help dispatch of that, because then that also brings, Yeah. So, I mean, later end game idea, right? With the whole mourning thing can spread out to the whole continent. Them dealing with that situation, making a deal with all the biological races, like, look, if we get the Warforged in on this, we get our own city, we get our own place in the world. So there's a good reason, there's a selfish reason to help everyone else out.
Yeah. So the nice thing about this campaign that I think going long term is that it starts criminal, because that's what we already decided on. Ownka is, Ownka is a spy and has ties to the cult of the dragon, or the cult, one of the cults of the dragons below. This person, this individual who is not necessarily doesn't have a gender, is just a Warforged, whose name we will discover very soon, is a serial murderer, but is probably but they both have something to do with the mourning. Yeah. The mourning, it seems, is the focus of this campaign.
Absolutely.
Which makes a lot of sense. That's the whole reason it was included. It's like a huge inciting event. And yeah, maybe Ownka somehow meets, insert name here, for whatever reason. Or maybe the Ownka goes to this place where a fighting pit is happening.
Poultice?
Poultice? Could be a name.
My name Poultice.
Poultice?
Salve.
I
want it to be like really on the nose, because it's Warforged, and you're usually named after whatever their purpose serves.
That's true. I don't know. We'll think about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe his name is Caduceus or something like that.
I don't like Caduceus. It's too close to Caduceus.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
So we have all of the things necessary for this character here. How do they know Ownka? What quarters are they in? Dask is connected to Ownka, and assemble and use a magical weapon. So I think we should maybe tie that into this character a little bit. Maybe this character's name is Prognosis.
Prog. Yes, you. My name Prognosis, but you may call me Prog.
Prog.
Prog the Impaler.
Oh my gosh.
Like you gotta have a cool pit fighting name for him.
That's true. That is true.
Prog the Impaler.
Or maybe it's like Ward, or let's see.
Oh, so he's syringes, right?
Yeah. What about him?
That's what we're going for. That's the motif.
I think so. Or like an applicator, some sort of needle theme, which I hate personally.
Yeah.
I fucking hate needles.
Yeah, Prog the Needle.
Maybe. Or maybe they just go by the needle, but that's not their true name.
Yeah. You may call me Needle.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe they're like super lithe.
My name Prognosis, but you may call me Needle.
Like lithe and thin with very like, that was like rounded edges that they have had like sharpened into points or have had attachments all over their body to give them like they're very unhuggable.
There's like tubes that kind of go down their arms too. And when they're using certain elixirs and stuff, you see like injecting and it comes out into their hands. And so like,
Wait, let me see.
Or just like tubes that are like going, maybe like their crossbow is kind of like integrated in that in some way. And they like inject whatever poison or acid that they're using into their rounds. And that's kind of how they're like what is it? It's one of the infusions where they like don't have to reload.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just constantly slotting.
Yeah. It's slotting different like needles and stuff. Ooh.
And they'd have to prepare because in real life, I think serial killers and serial murderers or whatever, however you want to refer to them, it might be serial, but they always prepare a little bit for each time they're going to.
He's very methodical, and he's like, okay, if I'm going to be taking care of this person, I need to have this much of the acid, and perhaps in case of interrogation, I might want a vial of poison. Let's do a little bit of poison.
Let's see. Terrifying. All right. Is there anything else we need to cover here? I think tying together how all the player characters meet is going to be a little tough.
Well,
Gladiator, spy.
Ownka's a spy, so that can be easy.
Or maybe Ownka
can be inserted into anybody's fairly easily. They were trying to get information. Perhaps the people working with... Can you name the gang again? The monstrous gang? Dusk. I keep forgetting.
He's okay.
Yeah. So... Dusk, maybe a lot of the people that were in his unit were monstrous races, and so he's specifically targeting monstrous races. And like someone is killing our agents, and Ownka like, we need you to figure out who that is. And that's why she's around. She's around to make sure. But then how do you make them allied in that way?
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe while Ownka was coming down from the north and was passing through Sire, maybe one of the final things that
maybe...
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Maybe one of the final things that Needle did before like getting Warforged PTSD and heading back to Sharn to take out their vengeance is they saw Ownka and they dragged Ownka out of the morning. And then during their time in Sharn together, they've run into each other a couple times. And Ownka's one of the few biologicals that Needle is actually okay.
I don't trust biologicals, but Ownka's okay.
Yeah, basically. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, basically that. She got dragged out of the morning, and maybe they even like traveled together
for a time.
And then Needle knows. Needle has a very base understanding on Ownka should have died in the Mournlands as he dragged her out, but she's still alive. And so maybe there's like that inquisitive mind of his where he's like, I need to keep her around. Why did she not die during the morning? I find this very interesting.
Yeah. And then Needle's
so it's almost like she's kind of like an experiment, but also there's kind of an attachment to it. Yeah.
So Needle gets dragged into Ownka's shit regardless.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, maybe
Needle does like nightly experiments on her.
And maybe Needle is even hiding out with the refugees.
Yeah.
while he's not being, or while they aren't being hunted by
Yeah.
House Thrashk bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And so this tie into Dosk, and now Dosk is saying, you need to work for us. Oh, and we can hide your little Warforged friend there. We know they've got a bounty on their head. You work for us.
Yeah.
And now they're cutting
So maybe
off.
just veterans. not
And
monsters.
Dosk is trying to collect on the bounty too with the explosive device.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of a loose end, and they're trying to kill Needle and collect the bounty. Multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking of a new name. Practice. But they go by
Practice?
Mal. Malpractice.
Malpractice. Yeah.
Their name is Practice, but now they go by Mal.
And their pit name's called is Needle.
Yeah. Their friends call him Mal. Their original name was Practice, but in the pit, they go by Needle.
Yeah. I have many names.
Some called me Needle. That's great.
My given name Practice, but most people call me Mal. If you find me in the ring, you call me Needle.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Incredible.
That's great.
So good. This is a good villain.
This is a great.
This is just a great. Take this villain, throw it in here somewhere, and you don't even have to take out the Warforged bit if you want to. If you want to plop him in another setting, this is just a cool villain.
This is just a cool villain, yeah. Also, I want to
War veteran killing other war vets because their unit died because of disloyalty.
Yeah, that's woo. Also, wait a second. Where was it? The plot. Assemble and use a magical weapon. So I think we need to touch on that maybe a little bit. So a magical weapon could be like something to, because
I don't think it doesn't necessarily have to be something to control.
no,
Warforged.
because this is
That's a little too
specific. The assembling and using a magical weapon is specific to this beginning plot, this quick Sharn story that we're using to start the campaign.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe that magical weapon is just some powerful magical item that Dosk is tracking down that they're trying to assemble. And maybe they're using Ownka as a way to talk to individuals within the cult that have part of that magical weapon that they're trying to assemble. But why would Dosk be trying to do that?
I mean, it's a more powerful weapon to grant them more leverage to maybe deal with some of the. Are they the largest gang
No, they're not. Well, that's hard.
or one of
I
the
think-
larger or one of the more prevalent?
I think they're just one of the more violent gangs.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe this gives them more. Maybe it's like a
power play.
power play to be able to have a stronger foothold in Sharn,
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe take over like a neighboring district or something. Maybe it's like a more like a wide ranged weapon, not like a very specific weapon. Yeah. Maybe it's not even necessarily weapon. Maybe it helps control the lightning rails or something like that. Or it would like allow them to hijack the lightning rails or something. Control some like major aspect of Sharn, which would give them like a stronger foothold in something.
There's also some Eldritch machines listed in Chapter 5 of Wayfinder's Guide. And one of them, and this is something that I think would be super cool, one of them is called a spell sink. And basically it's an anti-magic field in a radius of 1 to 3 miles. So maybe they're trying to make a spell sink to shut off the like sort of anti-gravity field in Sharn. So they can shut down all traffic in the lower parts of Sharn. So they'll have full dominion.
Yeah.
And any airships or any of the sky boats that try to come in, they can
Anybody
just
who wants
shut
to
them
do
down.
business in
Fucking name line.
Line. Try to do business in lower Sharn.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do business in Lower Sharn, you're gonna have to pay the fine.
Yeah, maybe it's a device
Or we turn on the spell sync.
that shuts down all the elevators,
Yeah.
all of the sky boats, all the airships, all Eldritch weapons.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And so they get their own little 1 to 3 mile pocket of dominion.
It's just a anti-magic weapon.
And then they're going to try and find ways to research to expand that range, than trying to take over all of Sharn
Yep.
with an iron fist.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. Jacob's grabbing his titties. That's the
That's a
signal.
sign. That's a sign.
That's the signal.
That's a sign of a good backstory right there.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
I agree. My goodness. What do you think, Sam?
Well, I think that's a mighty fine backstory you boys got there.
What do you think, Elmo? Wow. Thanks, Elmo.
I don't think it's a very scary backstory. Murder.
Thank you, Elmo. Anybody else in the Office?
No. No, I'm good.
No. Nobody else in the office.
Crazy.
All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. We're excited for our third and final character, which is going to be a Kalashtar. So get ready for that. Thanks for listening.